Welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. It's a beautiful day today. I've just made myself a fresh coffee and I'm just about to talk about something which is fascinating to me. It's one of the most fascinating subjects in my world. 16 years ago, I decided to walk a path of spirituality. I started to learn about what life truly means. And that is the magic within our everyday life that most of us choose not to see. I started to go deeper and started to understand people's energy. I started to work with tools that the shamans, the Wiccans, high priestesses, the elders, the Native Americans, all of these really strange and unusual people that I started coming across, I started finding it so fascinating. The talismans, these really unique things that they were using. Sticks, swords, stones that I've never seen before that just light up in the darkness and when rubbed together, and so many things I got to see. I've written 4 books now. At one point of my life, I was sat in a little room every day, and a few years ago we worked out that I'd read and healed for tens of thousands of people. Over the course of the years, I've worked on many levels, from royalty, famous pop stars, the list goes on and on and on. There was one point when I was sat in front of a screen and I was reading for one very famous film director, and I was given many options of who he should cast for his films. It got to the stage when I used to come home and say, "You're never going to believe this." It's like, seriously, you're not going to believe this. Not that I would ever tell anybody anything anyway, but it was like, you're never going to believe. It's like, there's just no point. And then falling asleep and all of a sudden waking up to furniture moving in the house, and the list goes on and on. I've written about it. I've gone into many properties, many buildings, many plots of land around the world, and throughout the understanding of what I realized I already knew, which was really fascinating. That was the most fascinating thing for me. How was it my first mentor entered into my life to show me what I never even saw I was doing? That's a good mentor. A mentor is one who sees what you're doing and explains why you do this. And it became very easy for me to do my work and still to remain humble. And fear is a good thing. It's always good to have a little bit of fear inside you. You don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to say something which is OTT. You don't want to, cause more pain and suffering from your client. And, and most of all, you've got to remain balanced and free from judgment. That's my humble opinion. That's what I've taught. I now run an academy with thousands of people who are pure energy healers around the world. It's beautiful. We're growing every day. The reason why I share all of this information is because you may not know who I am. And now that you know a little bit about me, even though it doesn't matter and you shouldn't really have to know all of this, I'm going to talk about a subject now which is dear to me. And that is crystals. One crystal above all crystals was placed into my hands many years ago, and I instantly had an out-of-body experience. That experience was very personal, and the people around me never saw me float off the ground. I never elevated off the ground, but I did. My spirit did. It lifted. I'd never felt anything like that before, and at that point I was right at the very beginning of my spiritual journey, and I was at a very big show, and I was actually reading for many people. That day I think I'd read for 14 people that day, and it was a psychic show here in the Costa del Sol in Marbella, a grand hotel, a very big hotel called the H10. And my mentor said to me, I've got a present for you. And she placed this really ugly looking green crystal into my hand. And I felt my body lift. I'd never felt anything like it in my life. From that moment on, my life was never quite the same, because I was fascinated and hooked into this crystal. It's called Moldavite. I was fascinated by it. And that crystal was only about this size. It was only a tiny piece. And 16 years on, I've probably gifted more Moldavites to people around the world than anybody. I'd probably say I'm a record breaker there. I might be wrong, I might be proven wrong, but I think I've given more Moldavites away than any crystal. And I've given thousands of crystals away. Thousands upon thousands. So, what do I know about Moldavite? Well, I've been writing a book for the past 2 years called The Power of Moldavite. It was meant to be finished about 6 months ago, but the problem with Moldavite is 2020 has become such an unusual energy that Moldavite has stepped up another gear. It's become somewhat different in its energy. And the beauty of Moldavite, as many crystals, they change to the energy of the universe. Moldavite is slightly different because it's not really a crystal per se. And it's not really a meteorite per se. But let's forget about the technical terms, because that's only ego. What we have is a beautiful green energy that is so unusual, so powerful, that its energy has enchanted me for 16 years, and till this day it has done. What I'm going to show you now is a piece of Moldavite which has a name. It is named the Flame of Bohemia. It's a very rare hedgehog. Very rare and very unusual and very, very beautiful. You can't actually see it in its full true colour, but it's a gem of a piece. It's what's called a museum piece. It's 15,000 euros. So here am I today showing you a beautiful little tiny piece of Moldavite, which is beautiful and powerful, and I would say one of the most beautiful pieces of Moldavite in the world. So what I'm about to share with you now, after giving you all this information, hopefully you might be able to think about it, digest it, and then say, okay, well, after what he's told me, maybe there is some sense in this guy. Maybe he is talking some truth when it comes to Moldavite. So we're at a point now, I would say, where there are a lot of people who are regurgitating the same message. They're repeaters, and repeaters normally listen to lots of different people, and they might hear one conversation or another, and then they will use that information and spread it to everybody else. Today is an interesting day because I normally listen when I get 3 messages in a day when they're exactly the same. And not 1 hour ago did I get the 3rd message, and that message was exactly like the other 2 messages this morning. And basically, this video is about that particular message. So what was the messages? The 3 messages were about Moldavite and how they had purchased a piece of Moldavite and that they had bumped into, or they have been to, somebody who told them that the Moldavite was dangerous. One person was told that the Moldavite is a powerful talisman for evil, in so many words, and would cause great openings within you, and you will feel evil and you will become evil. The other one was, I believe, they had been to a clairvoyant, and the clairvoyant told them it's too powerful for you and it will cause you great suffering. I can't remember exactly what it was. It might have been a breakdown, blah, blah, blah. And the other one, which was kind of the worst one for me, the one that really upset me, is that this lady's pregnant, and a psychic had told them that they should not wear the Moldavite because it can interfere with a pregnancy and you could lose your child. Now, first of all, those three things alone should raise alarm bells to you about the ego and the God complex of certain people. Forget the names of what they decide to call themselves. They're still human beings, and everybody holds a gift of seeing, foresight. Everybody holds a gift of intuition. So don't let the ego of somebody who claims to be something any more powerful than you, because if you do, then you've lost your power and thrown it away, and you'll never be powerful. Because if you always look up to somebody, then you'll never awaken your own power, because you're always listening to somebody else, or you always need their reassurance, which always puts your power, your energy, your intuition on the back burner. And then you wonder why you never become the power that you want to be. You can never stand in your own power because you're giving it away to somebody else. But let's push that aside. And people can be horrible, and people, absolutely, I've said many times on my videos, be careful when you go to these people, because a lot of them use you and they know that they can steal your power by saying very negative things. So once they put fear into you, they've got you. And then you will always go to them because, oh my God, and this is this is why I stopped readings and I stopped doing all of that, because I was sick of hearing people coming to me and sitting down telling me what other psychics had said and done. And I don't want to be in this field of work if people do that kind of work in that way. So it broke my heart, it really did. And it was time to stop anyway. Okay, so the question needs to be answered now. So I've explained to you right at the beginning of this video, who am I and why I know about Moldavite, how I've worked with literally thousands of pieces. I have a collection that I've worked with over 16 years of my own. I've got collections on my website, 500, 600, 700 pieces that I've worked with. So I'm very familiar with Moldavite. I'm very familiar with my clients who work with Moldavite. Okay, so if we're going on a stats, I can say if we're going to be if we're looking at it in a scientific manner, then I've never seen a piece of Moldavite hurt anybody. So that's one thing you've got to understand. Moldavite doesn't hurt anybody. It doesn't cause hurt. It doesn't cause somebody to lose their child. It doesn't cause heartbreak. It doesn't cause all of the things that were said to me by these people who contacted me. Moldavite, in my opinion, will call to you when it's ready, which means you're ready to face whatever it is you need to face, whether that is to become more powerful in a psychic manner, whether that's to become more intuitive on the flow of healing, whether that is to face certain things that need to come up, whether that is to learn certain stubborn trademarks within us, whether that's to strengthen certain weaknesses within us. Moldavite has never ceased to amaze me on all of those fronts that I've seen on my clients. I've witnessed firsthand the magic of Moldavite. I could talk about Moldavite for 2 years, 3 years. I can talk about many subjects on Moldavite and how I've seen the transformation of thousands of clients, and every single one, depending on how long it took, whether it was one moment or a year, all I can tell you is that I have seen nothing but a positive outcome from every single soul that I've worked with. The only time I have not seen that positive outcome, and this is the key point, please bear with me, is that when a client has come to me and maybe I gifted them a piece of Moldavite and they were in a bad place, it was because somebody told them that it was dangerous. Are you getting it now? Like anything in life, we come to realize that we are the most powerful crystal in the world. Our body is predominantly 70 to 80% water. It is proven by many scientists, including Dr. Emoto, that every single drop of water contains a crystal. Therefore, when you drink water, you have millions of crystals running through your body. You are the number one crystal in the world, the most powerful crystal in the world. And the one thing I realized very quickly in this field of work, when people are down, lost, looking for spiritual guidance, there are a lot of people out there who, not really knowingly, cause great stress to people. Some knowingly will place fear into you, because once fear comes into you, they've got you hook, line and sinker. So I guess the moral of this story today is this: whenever you're told something negative about Moldavite, I would very much question the validity of that statement. I would question the person speaking it. Why would they say that? And I would ask for proof. How do you know a piece of Moldavite causes such suffering? And when they say, because I know somebody, I would then ask for that person's telephone number and see their reaction. Because like I said, most people simply listen to other conversations and regurgitate that same message. And you know what? I find when people bring shock into any conversation, it's because they're very, very lonely, not listened to, very weak in mind, body and spirit, and are desperate for people to listen to them. So I would question anybody who would say to me that Moldavite caused suffering, because I would say, through my experience, my work over 16 years, every single day, I have seen nothing but magic created with Moldavite. I created a piece of Moldavite with 2 other stones, and there was a reason for that. Moldavite helps the blocks, those moments in your life where something so tragic happened that it burned into the psyche, into the body somewhere. Moldavite has this beautiful ability to release that trapped memory and heal it, confront it, and clear it. So you may hold a piece of Moldavite and feel the pain of something that you went through. But that's the whole point of Moldavite. It is helping you elevate. And you cannot elevate spiritually if you do not heal your weaknesses. There's a saying that you're only as strong as your weakest link. Well, let's say that Moldavite is strengthening and healing all of those weak links within you to become the master that we all are, to become the god, goddess, whatever you want to call yourself, but to become the powerful you, to stand in your own truth and to say, I don't need a psychic, a healer. I don't need a clairvoyant. I don't need a spiritual teacher. And I've said to you guys for many years now, at least 2, this right now is the time when you have to be your own guide, your own intuition. You now have to see through what's happening around you at any given moment. You have to stand firm and true to your convictions, to your intuition. The days have gone of gurus. They're finished. They're being exposed daily. They're not what you think they are. And even the good ones are saying it's time to be your own guru. All I can tell you is my experience with Moldavite helped me so much, as many other crystals did. I won't just push them away, but Moldavite had something very special to give me in my life. The suffering that I went through, the abuse, the loss of my mum at 12, and so many other things, my first marriage breakdown, not being able to see my son, little boy, anymore because our situation was challenging, and all of those things burnt into my psyche and lasted a long time. But what I can definitely say is that the first time I touched Moldavite, it released something in me. And that release wasn't just pain, but it was actually power. My inner power, it awakened, released it from within me to face my demons, my challenges, my tests, all those emotions that I had to go through. So I would sit with anybody and have a discussion about Moldavite, and I would be shocked, literally shocked, if I could not get to the root cause of why somebody had gone through such pain and suffering when they held Moldavite in a way that ended up being extremely positive. And I could change it around and show them exactly why certain things are given to us. And I often say, a piece of Moldavite is similar to having a cut on your arm. First of all, you need to clean that cut away. So you'll go and you'll get your antiseptic and you'll rub it on and it'll burn like crazy. That burning sensation, you know deep down, is so vital to your healing, because if you do not put that on there, it could turn septic and you can become very, very ill, and you can be very worried that now you need antibiotics or whatever it is. But when you put that on and it burns, that is a positive burn. That is a burn that you know, wow, that's healing. Well, that is exactly what Moldavite does in a spiritual sense. I stand here as somebody who is a guardian of Moldavite because I stand for it. I love it. I stand up for it because I know the power of Moldavite. I have seen it thousands of times. I have never come across a piece of Moldavite that I didn't love. It is unique in its own way, and depending on what you're going through, it will certainly shift and move you and whack your energy everywhere, and you become like a vortex and you become like a whirlwind sometimes, or it can be just gentle. But all of those things, I can guarantee you with my hand on my heart that I've learned. I have never seen a negative outcome, only when a human being interferes and starts telling that person that Moldavite is dangerous and too strong for you because you've just started. Well, I would argue the point, if you are spiritual and you believe that there's no such thing as coincidence, if you truly believe that everything is as it should be, then how could you possibly tell somebody who has been led by spirit, those that you talk about every day, that they've made a mistake, that they've led this lovely young lady to the wrong place at the wrong time to pick a piece of Moldavite that they shouldn't be using? Well, that's a little bit of a contradiction, wouldn't you say? Well, actually, when you think about it, it's not a contradiction, because it's exactly what I said. It's just another way of entrapping people who are on their spiritual journey, who may be a little bit vulnerable, who are looking for guidance. And I would say to those that do that, shame on you. And you will never be what you want to be if you talk to people and treat them and scare them in those ways. And you'll ask yourself, and you'll wonder why you've never become who you want to be, and why people don't always listen to you, and why you're not always that busy. Well, maybe, just maybe, it's because of the way you treat people, the way you scare them. I am here to tell you all, guys, if you've ever been scared, duped, if you've ever been hoodwinked, if you've ever been voodooed, and it's a type of curse. Of course it is. Spreading fear to somebody is a curse. Then the bigger picture is quite simple. There is a reason why you are there. There's a reason why you were told these things. Because maybe, just maybe, you were there to learn, to listen to your unique self above anybody else. Moldavite is your best friend, and it will never let you down. I wear Moldavite every day, every night. Certain pieces are so strong that I cry. Certain pieces that I'm burning up, but I know it's the same burning sensation on my cut that needs to be healed in a spiritual way. And I'll just leave you on that final note. It's that simple. Don't let people try to manipulate you with confusion and fear. You are the most powerful crystal in the world. Have a great day, guys. This, what I'm wearing right now, is Moldavite, Tektite and Herkimer. I wear these together because in the 16 years that I've worked as a healer, when I'm working with low energy that needs to be released from clients, I realized that Tektite is the most powerful absorber of that negative energy that I worked with and cleared. So it absorbs it. Perfect. If I'm feeling emotional, if I'm feeling that I need to be elevated, if I feel as if I need to meditate and go deep, if I feel as if I want to connect to the spirit world, then Moldavite is my best friend. It's right there. And if I want to make that experience even greater, then I realized that Herkimer Diamond has a unique ability, a really unique ability to amplify any crystal it's next to. And that's why after 16 years, I made these. And that's why I wear them every day. And they work so well for me. But maybe you should give it a go. Maybe you should try. Let's see. Try and match up your crystals, whatever you've got, and see how they work. And let us know. I did a video on my crystal channel. And yeah, I was just thinking it was about this crystal here. It's a chalcedony, pink. It's beautiful. And see this one here? If you want it, if you want to win it, then why not go to my Bajerski Crystals channel now, watch the video on this, and, well, if you don't mind subscribing to that page, and leave a message on the last video I did of this beauty. And the message should be, no one has the power over me. I'll put you into a draw, and I'll make that draw in a few days. Let's see who wins this beauty. Have a beautiful day, guys. I love you all. And remember, please remember, no one has the power over you. 2020 is clear vision. It's time to stand in your own power. It's time to stop listening to people, especially the system. Stop listening to people who are putting fear into you and start to listen to your higher, beautiful, divine self. You are equal to any single person in this world. You have as much wisdom, information, and power within you. You just need to wake it up. And maybe, just maybe, a Moldavite might just do that for you today. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for going to markbajerski.com and buying your authentic Moldavite. I appreciate it, and I hope you love working with them as much as I do. Have a beautiful day, guys, till tomorrow. Thank you so much. I really mean it. I hope this video serves you well. I really mean that. It's always a tough subject, but I hope I've helped you a little bit today. I really mean that. Take care of yourselves till tomorrow. Bye for now.